Welcome back to another episode of Malcolm on Money, where we decode some of the more complex financial topics folks tend to run into in an attempt to simplify it and make it as plain as possible. So today we're going to be talking about health savings accounts and some of the more common mistakes people tend to make when using them. So to get us started, I think it's probably good if we just define what a health savings account or HSA even is. It's essentially just a type of savings account that specifically lets you set aside money on a pre-tax basis to pay for what the IRS refers to as qualified medical expenses. And while you can use the funds in an HSA at any time to pay for qualified medical expenses, you can only contribute to an HSA if you have what they consider an eligible high deductible health plan, which we'll get into in a little bit. But HSAs are often referred to as a triple tax advantage savings and investment vehicle due to their ability to allow tax deductible contributions, tax-free growth, and tax-free withdrawals, again, for those qualified medical expenses. Yet many Americans do not take full advantage of their potential. And despite their immense tax advantages, HSAs remain underutilized and mismanaged by a significant portion of those who actually do have them. And oftentimes, HSA owners treat them like a simple checking account to cover immediate medical expenses, failing to recognize their long-term benefits. So let's talk about those benefits. One of the most powerful strategies for optimizing an HSA is to use it as a retirement savings tool. And ideally, individuals should contribute to their HSA consistently throughout their working years and aim to maximize their contributions on an annual basis. This will not only provide for immediate healthcare needs and costs, but also helps to build a substantial pool of funds that can be used in retirement. So when you turn 65, you can use the HSA funds to pay for your Medicare premiums tax-free. This is one of those crucial benefits that a lot of folks tend to overlook, and by saving diligently into your HSA now, you can ease the burden of healthcare costs in retirement, where medical expenses tend to be a little bit higher. Additionally, if you're a person who receives a contribution to your HSA from your employer, it's vital to contribute above and beyond what your employer provides if their contribution falls short of the annual limit. And so many employers will contribute to their employees' HSAs, which is an excellent benefit, but relying solely on the employer contributions may not allow you to reach the maximum annual contribution limit. For instance, if your employer contributes $1,000 to your HSA each year, and you're eligible to contribute up to, let's say, $3,650, which is the present limit, you should aim to add the additional $2,650 yourself, which will allow you to maximize the tax advantages and the long-term growth potential of your HSA and not leave additional money on the table. Another mistake is failing to invest the funds within the HSA. It's not uncommon for HSA participants to leave their contributions in cash indefinitely, missing out on the potential growth. While it's wise to keep a portion of the funds liquid for any immediate healthcare expenses, the majority should be invested with an eye toward long-term growth. And as I mentioned, if you're a person who is looking to optimize the health savings account, using cash flow from today and allowing the HSA dollars to continue to grow long-term is the optimal way to go. But over time, the returns from investments can significantly enhance the value of your HSA. For example, assuming an average annual return of, let's say, 6%, a $3,650 annual contribution invested over a 30-year career could grow to over $300,000, which can then be used tax-free for qualified medical expenses or Medicare premiums in retirement. Now, we've been talking about eligible medical expenses for quite a bit here, and I promised I would get into it, so we'll do that here. Qualified expenses are not limited to immediate medical bills. They include a wide range of healthcare costs such as dental and vision care, prescription drugs, and even certain over-the-counter drugs. So familiarizing yourself with these eligible expenses can certainly help you plan better and use your HSA funds more efficiently. That said, for HSA participants who can afford to pay for current medical expenses out of today's cash flow, as I mentioned, and allow those funds within the HSA to continue to grow until retirement, it's advisable to do so. And by not dipping into the HSA for immediate expenses, participants can take full advantage of the account's tax-free growth potential, and over the years, the funds can accumulate significantly, providing a substantial reserve for future healthcare costs, including, again, Medicare premiums. Don't get me wrong, making a pre-tax contribution into an HSA and receiving a deduction dollar for dollar from your taxable income is an awesome feature all by itself. If you are enrolled in a high deductible health plan and taking advantage of your HSA already, good on you. But allowing those funds to continue to grow tax-free for a couple decades is where the real triple tax-free benefits of contributing to an HSA come into play. And if you are a person who is already on the bandwagon, or you heard what I said today and suddenly you see the light and you decide it makes more sense to allow those dollars to continue to grow and use today's cash flow to pay for today's medical expenses, then feel free to invest 100% of the funds that you've contributed to that HSA, because that's where you really are going to get a chance to optimize what you're using the account. All right, folks, that's it for today's episode. Hopefully you learned something new and feel compelled to like or subscribe and all that good stuff you're supposed to do on here. But more importantly, I hope you found this information valuable enough to share it with someone else you know. And if you'd like to receive more content like this directly into your inbox every week, then be sure to sign up for the Malcolm on Money newsletter at the address in the show notes below. And if you'd like to send us any comments or concerns or kudos or ask a question, feel free to shoot us an email at hello@malcolmethridge.com. Thank you for watching.